Hello, it's Angela, Deputy Manager of Ambience Care. One of the questions that we've been asked about was on the subject of eating and drinking and how we can improve or encourage it. Dehydration is one of the biggest challenges facing anyone caring for someone who's older or living with dementia. Many older people are known to be chronically short of fluid in their bodies, which can lead to urinary tract infections and many other illnesses, which can result in life-threatening situations that may require urgent hospital treatment. Good levels of hydration are vital to remain healthy and alert. Without them, we can get confused and unresponsive to symptoms of dementia, and also two reasons why it may be assumed that somebody has dementia even when all they need is to increase their fluid intake. Understandably, in somebody who is already known to have dementia, dehydration can make their dementia much worse. Also, think about how food can contribute to hydration. For example, fruits and vegetables often have a high water content, whilst items like dry potato, pasta or rice could sap fluid levels. Compensate for this by creating sauce-based meals and ensuring that what you are serving is sufficiently moist, such as creamy mash rather than dry lumpy mash, and pasta that is served with a moist sauce. So how can you ensure the person you're caring for remains hydrated and happy? These are our top 10 tips for better nutrition and hydration for people living with dementia. Number 1, keep it in sight and turn on the light. It becomes important to use all of the tools at our disposal to support good nutrition and hydration. This begins with good lighting and placing or emphasising visual cues which prompt the person with dementia to eat or drink. Leaving snacks and drinks for grazing throughout the day can be a help when short-term memory loss means that somebody gets distracted before completing the process of making a cup of tea, for example. Having drinks available and visible at various places throughout the home will encourage spontaneous drinking. Number 2, creating contrast. Sticking with the theme of keeping foods and drinks visible, we can make both food and drink more obvious by considering how they are served or presented. For example, consider serving light foods like mashed potato in a dark bowl or dish. Number 3, good smells and sweet starts. Use cooking smells to your advantage, as they will help to build appetite and keep eating and drinking at the front of the individual's mind. If you're only there for short periods of time, consider which smells can be introduced quickly, like the smell of toast or brewing coffee. If the person complains that everything is tasteless and bland, try sweet starts. Sometimes starting with a small serving of pudding and then moving on to the main course can be helpful. Number 4, make those calories count. If somebody is struggling to maintain their weight, you can fortify the food they eat. Adding a bit of butter to cooked vegetables, using cream in place of milk, adding gravy to dishes or custards to puddings are all good ways of increasing calorie content. Number 5, getting a handle on hydration. It's important to remember that hydration is not just about water, as the body will also draw water from other liquids and foods during the course of digestion. It may be worth considering how you can encourage the individual to eat foods with a high water content, like soups, stews, and even treats like ice creams, jellies, or ice lollies can contribute to a person's fluid intake. So don't be afraid to try anything creative and consider all of your options when tackling hydration. Number 6, exercise. For some people, the onset of dementia may lead them to live a more sedentary lifestyle than they did in the past, and this can have an impact on things like mobility, well-being, level of cognitive stimulation, mental health, and importantly, their appetite. Getting regular exercise can support a healthy appetite and help to avoid issues with constipation. Number 7, eating and drinking together. Eating and drinking is often a social activity, so eating alone might feel like one more task on the list of things that must be done today, whereas having a meal or snack or a cup of coffee with a friend is something to look forward to. So sit down and share a meal or a drink together. If someone's having difficulty recognising their food or drink or knowing what to do with it, eating with somebody else provides a visual example to follow, which can encourage someone who might otherwise be confused about what to do. Number 8, review medications. Medications are often needed to maintain good health, but they can have a raft of side effects, some of which can impact the person's eating and drinking. These can include nausea, constipation, dizziness, fatigue, and heartburn, each of which can directly influence what, when, and how much someone feels capable of eating. Reviewing someone's medication should be one of the first steps you take if you notice a significant change in their eating and drinking patterns. Number 9, a change of scenery. Everyone needs a change of scenery once in a while, and people living with dementia are no different. Perhaps a trip out for fish or chips or a stop at the garden centre can often provide the stimulation and meal options to spark a waning appetite. And number 10, try something new. Sometimes trying a new cuisine, adapting a recipe, or even something that a person previously disliked can spark a new interest and prompt someone to eat. Successfully finding foods that someone who has lost interest in food will respond to can be a difficult task and often requires a lot of patience and trial and error. You may need to let go of your own expectations about what somebody will and will not eat based on the previous likes and dislikes. Other than that, other contributing factors to dehydration can be the development or progression of a swallowing problem called dysphagia, or dental problems, or symptoms of advanced dementia like being unable to recognise the link between the drink in front of you and the need to pick it up and swallow the contents. There may be muscle weakness, pain in joints, or even bruising that could make it uncomfortable for somebody to pick up a drink, particularly a heavy one. There may also be fear attached to the drinking, for example, being worried that something may be too hot or too cold, or that it could be spilled. Ultimately, the key to keeping someone hydrated can often be trial and error, creativity, and perseverance. Your role in helping them to prevent dehydration is one of the most valuable and rewarding things that you can do, and most importantly of all, it is life-saving. Thank you.